I think you have to really, truly, openly seek counsel when God's will is unclear.
When it's unclear, that's true.
But I think that when God lays a heavy conviction or vision or path before you, like if there is a tie, like in an imbalanced way, the word of the Lord, the conviction of the Lord, the calling of the Lord has to break that tie. And I think the reason I'm saying this too is because I think that there are times where even your loving, invested, spiritual majority in your life.
Agreed.
Like people that love you, they don't want to see you face hard times.
That's it.
They're going to choose, in some ways, they'll choose the path that is safe for you and prudent for you. So like even as I'm talking through this with some people, they're looking at the difficulties and how hard it's going to be. And like I don't really want that for you. It's a protective instinct.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. But God's will at times is not for you to be sheltered.
No.
It includes tension.
Come on.
And difficulty and unknown.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Boom!
What is up? What is up?
Hey,
what's happening,
What's
y'all?
going on?
Hey.
Good to see everybody. Welcome to Breathe, Pastor Debleaire Snell and Pastor Kirk Nugent, who got in here, I mean, in the dark hours of the night.
As they would say, in the wee hours.
Yes. We're glad to see you, man.
One guess as to which airline that was.
I already know.
I hope it's not one that begins with a D.
No.
Good.
AA.
That's the one that I use. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, but you made it, though.
I made it. Listen, the flight landed. You know, I went home. I got some sleep.
He's chipper this morning. You would never know.
Yeah, listen, got some sleep. I'm good.
All right.
Let's go for it, man.
Awesome. Very good.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to Breathe. And I'm David Person.
There we go.
Look, I have been listening back. You know, we now run episodes of Breathe on WJOU's HD4 channel.
Yes.
And I've been listening to some of the past. Man, we've had some good episodes.
Oh, yeah, we have, man.
I've really been blessed
good.
listening to those. Yeah.
That's good.
So
That's good.
I'm glad we have that affiliation, that connection. So that's another way you
can check it out.
That's right.
Breathe.
That's
if
right.
If you download, I think it's called Live 365.
Yeah, that's the app for the.
You download that app, and then
look
you
for
can hear WJOU and HD4 Praise Talk, and you can hear it. So anyway, we are glad to be with you. We are entering a series now called I'm Processing.
Processing.
Trying to make decisions.
Trying
to make determinations. Right?
Yep.
So the first one we want to kick off with is what to do when you're in the minority, when everybody says, you're about to make a mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
Crucial decision.
Yeah.
Right?
In the minority.
So have you all been in that position where people were looking at you like, bro, you don't want to do this?
Yeah. I can think of a couple instances.
For sure.
You know, it's funny because even when I was, I guess, entertaining, because it wasn't completely my decision, but there were parts of it where I would have to submit to kind of being a part of the process of coming into Breath of Life or, transitioning to Oakwood Church. And there was it wasn't like the overwhelming majority, but there were some that looked at the challenges, the travel, your kids, how people respond, the enormity of the task, and in a good, considerable portion of just conventional wisdom said you should probably stay away from that. And so it was just an interesting process of having to navigate that.
Now, when you say conventional wisdom, you mean the people in your circle. I guess.
So it's kind of interesting. So, there are people that are in your circle that you may solicit counsel from. And then there are people that are not in your circle that just volunteer advice and counsel and perspective. And again, it wasn't, I don't think it was nefarious or bad. It was just kind of like, okay.
They want to weigh in.
Yeah, want to weigh in. Yeah.
So when we're thinking about this, then who should we really be thinking about, first of all, when we say we're in the minority, when everybody is saying, who is everybody? Who should everybody be? Should it be that larger circle or should it be that smaller circle?
This is good.
Man, that is a really good question. Yeah. But I do think that every person, I guess, in your journey should probably develop a cohort of trusted, sound, in our case, or really in any case, but especially in our case, spiritual advisors.
Right.
I think people whose decisions in life bear good fruit.
Yes.
And I think individuals who that I think you can say they are invested in good outcomes for me.
Yeah,
totally
agree.
There are certain people that are invested in outcomes for you that help them. But you need people that are invested in outcomes that are exclusively good for you.
Right.
And I think if you can create a cohort of people, that's who you want to look to. But I think all of us can probably attest that you may have that group. They ain't gonna stop those other folk who kind of have something to say or an opinion or perspective from weighing in.
Yeah.
So for the sake of this conversation, I would say we probably should even eliminate that those outside voices.
That's probably good.
What do you do
Yeah.
when those voices that you trust are looking at you saying, "My man, look, I'm down with you, but
Right.
So that happened for me and Kanique when we were considering going to the mission field.
okay,
And I think sometimes you have to think about the context, right? So we were presented with the opportunity to go and live and work in South Africa for an extended period of time. Kanique was ready to go, but because her family has been transient, they have moved, from Jamaica to Barbados to the States. Her siblings lived in Korea for some time, and then her sister lived in South Africa. So for her, it was like, oh, this is
no brainer.
Yeah, but my family. It took some doing to get here to the United States. So my family was like, no, we worked too hard to get here. Why would you go up to, So I think the context of it is also a big piece of it. And I remember the first time my parents and some of my aunts and uncles came to visit when we were in South Africa, they were blown away.
Yeah.
And of course, they were thankful to be wrong, right? So there is that context as well. These were trusted people that were sharing with us out of concern. You got small kids moving to Africa. There's all those
preconceived
ideas like where are you going to be? Where's my granddaughter going to live? Like there's some questions there, and there were valid questions. And these were trusted people. They weren't outside. But we were kind of in the minority on that decision.
So you were in the minority. They were valid questions. How did you find peace with going against the majority opinion?
Now, God made it clear. I mean, He made it abundantly clear. And if I could be very, very transparent, I was also with them.
Initially.
Initially.
Okay.
I was like, no, it's a no for me also. But God made it clear that was not only where He wanted us to go, but that His blessings were already there for us. And me and Kanique just kind of had to consider, like, if we decide to stay, we're actively deciding to stay outside of God's will.
Right.
And that's just that didn't sit right with me. And so that's actually what made it very simple.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't that another component of it? No, you were about to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, so I just think, and this is why I think, it's funny, I hate to kill the whole conversation, right? But I think, because I think that what it all boils down to is I think you have to really, truly, openly seek counsel when God's will is unclear.
When it's unclear, that's true.
But I think that when God lays a heavy conviction or vision or path before you, like if there is a tie, like in an imbalanced way, the word of the Lord, the conviction of the Lord, the calling of the Lord has to break that tie. And I think the reason I'm saying this too is because I think that there are times where even your loving, invested, spiritual majority in your life.
Agreed.
Like people that love you, they don't want to see you face hard times.
That's it.
They're going to choose, in some ways, they'll choose the path that is safe for you and prudent for you. So like even as I'm talking through this with some people. They're looking at the difficulties and how hard it's going to be. Like, I don't really want that for you. It's a protective instinct.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. But God's will at times is not for you to be sheltered.
No.
It includes tension.
Come on.
And difficulty and unknown. And so I just think that's where you kind of have to kind of really get clarity in that secret place. And even as you take, and I think it is wise to take counsel into consideration, let it be a part of your rubric. I think there comes a point in time where you just kind of have to be able to, independent of all that has been said and the opinions, be able to say, okay, I got to stand in this conviction and I got to walk in it, even if there's some unknowns and some things that are not clear. You know what comes to mind? And it's funny, a couple of biblical instances is when Abraham is called by God.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
To leave his home country.
Right.
And I mean, that's got to be like the craziest conversation.
Absolutely.
Like, where you going? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? How long you going to be?
I don't know.
Well,
you ever coming back? I don't know.
How you know when you get there?
Yeah.
God will tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of journey, you know what I'm saying? Or even, when I think about, or I think about Abraham, it's funny, Ellen, we are one of the pioneers of our church, Ellen White talks about how when God called Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. Now, again, be clear, husbands, do not misinterpret this, right? Do not say, man, because, Abraham, when he got that word from God, he didn't even tell Sarah.
He did not.
Because remember, she waited 90 years to have that boy.
Oh, come on.
And she talks about how, her love was bound up in Isaac, and a mother's love would not permit that sacrifice. So Abraham had to be like, let's just go. You know what I'm saying? Husbands, I'm not saying start doing stuff without your wife's consent.
Not at all.
Yeah, don't
not at all.
Don't blame your house discord on the Breathe podcast, right? But like he could not. No, he knew nobody else would get this. He didn't share it with Sarah. He didn't tell the servants that were with him what was about to happen. He had to kind of get clarity from God and kind of walk in that. And so I just think that there are going to be times. I do think there are times where just your path is clear, but you embrace, all right, the unknowns, the hard, the sacrifices I'm going to have to make for this vision. Everybody else won't get it. Everybody won't understand. But I'm going to have to kind of move in this path and then live with those outcomes.
Have to live with it.
And I think if you are hearing from God, you'll eat, plenty of fruit from it.
Yeah.
And if you kind of moving against it or you're just guessing, there may be a different outcome, and you'll have to live with that as well.
Absolutely.
But I think the other thing is majorities. Majorities can get it wrong.
Yeah.
I think there are times where we put a lot of, and I want to be clear, I'm not an anti-counsel person, so I don't want to shift the conversation in an imbalanced way. No. But, there was a majority when Pilate said, who you guys want?
Yep, that was a
Jesus
majority.
Or Barabbas?
Yeah.
And the majority said, give us Barabbas. Some, I'm not saying this is the case, but some may feel like the majority gets elections wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, majorities are not always accurate. They can be persuaded by factors that are not critical or essential to a good outcome for you. And I just think you have to kind of make sure that you're weighing whatever God is speaking or revealing in an imbalanced way in your decision.
Wow. So we're not saying discount credible, trusted majority opinion as a general rule, but we are saying there may be circumstances where you just have to say, I hear what y'all are saying. I understand where you're coming from. I appreciate the love, but I'm going to have to do this.
And I think faith steps usually sound like foolish steps to people who are not getting that vision. Right. And I just think that that's where you have to kind of, because God doesn't always speak through committees.
No.
He doesn't always speak through a tribe. There are times where I do think he does speak to us through people.
Agreed.
And and let me just be clear, there have been some times where, I was headed down the wrong road. And God put, some amazing people as a blockade to kind of say, dude, what do you need to reconsider. So there's been some times where the majority has steered me in the right direction.
Agreed.
Because I was just moving at a whim or out of a desire that was so great that I identified it as God.
Ooh.
Or I assumed it was God just because, man, it was such a strong desire that I had.
Yeah.
And there were some times where just the majority was kind of like, you need to reconsider that.
Yeah.
Or they asked me a series of questions. Oh, and I think this is really important because this is kind of sometimes what a certain a younger generation tends to do is everybody that does not completely agree with me.
Oh.
Or is not, that doesn't just sign off on every whim or wish I have, we automatically classify them as a hater.
Yep.
They are against me.
Yep.
They are criticizing me. But this is one of the things I've learned is that God's will or something that is truly of God, it can withstand scrutiny.
Agreed.
Like it can handle scrutiny. And even if it's just a matter of you don't divert what you're doing, but they're forcing you to think about some things you didn't think about. They're forcing you to consider some things that you did not quite consider. So like even Jesus kind of made the statement, he was like, nobody builds a house without fully considering all of the cost.
Yeah.
And I think that there even some times where even you're moving in faith, but you still got to factor in all the costs.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a faith step is not absent or void of research,
mercy,
consideration.
Yeah.
Like I need to know, like, all right, when I take this step of faith, this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are going to be maybe some famine seasons.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some sacrificial seasons. Yeah. And like, man, or I'm going to take this step and get married. You should know it's going to be hard. You're like, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
hard.
It is going to test you.
Yeah.
Listen, even a healthy marriage is going to stretch you to the end of yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're going to probably say,
without
man,
fail,
did I make a mistake?
Yeah, at some point.
At some point, even in a God-ordained marriage. So I'm just saying, I just think that you have to weigh it all.
Yeah.
And you need to kind of listen to some people, even if they're just kind of making you not reconsider, but man, I need to think about some things that I hadn't quite considered.
Yeah. I tell you, I love this. I tell my kids all the time, I don't mind, even if you want to do something that I don't think you should do.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you can tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
If you can give me that, if you can show me your thought process, you know what I mean? Like if you can give me the reason behind it. Now I'm not saying that I'm just going to go along with them,
right?
But I'm it's the processing piece of it, right? It's it's that I've given it some thought. This is the reason why. Because in many instances, not just for kids but for adults as well, they're just kind of going with the flow. Well, so why did you go there? I don't really even know. Why did you do that? I'm not certain. There's not like a hard and fast reason for them actually making that move. And I think that one of the pieces of the puzzle that we're talking about today is making sure that there is a thought process, that there is a sitting down and a thinking through, looking at it from different angles, getting advice, hearing from the minority and the majority, but also hearing from God as you make a decision, because a decision is something decisive, not just going with the flow.
Yeah.
So what are as we begin to wrap this up, what are some of the ways that when we are in the minority, we're processing, folks who love us are saying, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. But we feel a conviction. What are some of the ways of being sure that conviction is truly coming from the Almighty God and not from our ego or from our fear or something like that? Yeah.
So that's a great question. And sometimes, in real time, it's a little hard to know. So I do think that the book of Proverbs talks about how, and the verse is escaping me at the moment, but the Bible talks about how a patient man has great understanding. Mm. And I think that sometimes, an ego, lustful, or errant decision, like it's filled with artificial urgencies. Like I just gotta do it right now. And there's not really a real or true urgency. It's created. It's born out of desire. So like even when you're talking about romantic interests, right? And there's a great formula I kind of use, especially, it's just kind of long courtship, short engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like, give yourself time. You don't have to get engaged today. Like you don't have to say yes today. Like especially if there are things that are unclear. Like if the majority in your inner circle, let it play out.
Yeah.
Let it bear out over time.
Yeah.
I just have a general principle. Like if people proposition me with certain things, whether it's a business interest or certain things, and if it's now or never, my general instinct, unless, especially like we only talk once or twice, and you're going to give me a now or never ultimatum, then it's going to be never. Generally, you know what I'm saying? Because I think opportunities, don't always show up quite in such a hasty way. I think there are times where you got to move with intent, but like, not like I didn't get a chance to research it, think it through, so on and so forth.
Question the motives of somebody who's pressuring you.
Pressuring you,
why
correct.
Are you pressuring me?
Yeah.
What's the urgency?
Yeah, and so I just think, so is this, you got to just truly be honest with yourself. Is this a lust thing?
Mercy.
Is it a greed thing? Is it an ego thing? Or am I, and I think part of it is one of the ways to kind of filter it through, am I only, as I make this choice, am I only considering the good?
Ooh.
Does everything have to work out perfectly for this to come to pass?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe those are a few things to help you filter out that process. And again, I think there are times where we discussed earlier that we have to go against the majority. But I do think that the Bible says in the multitude of counsel, there is wisdom. And I do think that there is something to at least consider if, like, truly people who are invested in you, who make good decisions, their life bears fruit. They're deeply spiritual.
Right.
I do think if everybody that fits that category is saying, man, you need to reconsider that. You need to at least pause. And vet it out. And go back to the Almighty to say, okay, Lord, I just want to make sure. I'm not doubting you. I'm kind of doubting me right now.
Right.
I want to just make sure I've heard from you.
No, that's good. I love that. I think, as you look at that filter in terms of how do we know, or what's the times when you go with the majority, or the times where you kind of have to make that step.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do think that things may fall in place as you are looking. So not necessarily that it was urgent, but you have been on a search. Maybe you've been considering different options. And then God will just kind of, in the waiting, as you're really continuing to weigh, God will kind of just drop something in. I've seen that happen. And it isn't necessarily that you're moving with haste. You had been preparing. You'd been looking, and then God showed you an opportunity. That sometimes to others it may look like, man, you just boom, boom, you moved on that so quick. But really, I had been really looking and preparing, and God was opening my mind. I was looking at different opportunities, looking at weighing the sides of it, and then this other opportunity presented itself, and I'm just moving with that. So sometimes that filter from the outside, it can look hasty. But internally, you've kind of gone through a process.
And I think that's very critical, because there have been some times where a door seems to have opened out of the blue. But it's because there have been some things that have been maturing in me.
That's it.
Like I've been outgrowing a certain space. This has been my time. I've been having a sense that my time in a certain space or assignment is coming to an end. My vision is drying up. And when that door opens, I'm like, oh, okay. That's what that
so
was.
So good.
So I don't think God is impulsive. Like, I think there are times where, man, like, the door opening may be sudden, or just the word of the Lord may come out of the blue. But I think there's usually a ripening.
That's a good
of
word.
some sort.
A ripening
that precedes kind of what may feel like a sudden movement to the outside, but something has been churning inside of you.
I love that. That's good.
As we conclude, I was thinking about Gideon.
The
biblical story of Gideon. There's a great example in that story of a person processing and processing with God.
With God.
And God was patient.
He was.
In the story, God
sure
was patient.
Very
allowed
patient.
him to go through
fleece
his,
several nights.
Those iterations until he got to the final, okay, I guess this is it. We're doing this. And so I think as we process and as we try to balance the good intentions of those in our circle who love and care about us with what we feel is a true, a true urging, I'll say, from God
to
do something. Just remember, God will work with you as you process.
He
You
will.
don't have to be
He will.
afraid of processing. God will be patient. God will work with you.
Yep.
And all of these things can be working, I think, ultimately, as complicated as it may feel and seem, can be working for your good.
For your good.
But one crucial step that I'm going to suggest, pastors,
Come on.
Yeah.
is that folks, as you're doing this, stop
Stop. Pray. Come on.
and breathe.
Yeah.
Good.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.